Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about celebrations and gatherings and big demonstrations that have been happening across the United States of America. But as we all know, and as we've talked about in different videos and different topics, only certain gatherings are okay. Certain things are allowable according to the people leading the charge. You know, the mainstream media is very, very dominated by liberals. They own and operate the social media networks and basically control a lot of the conversation. Now, what do they say about gatherings? They say you can't leave your house, you can't go to work, and they want these lockdowns to keep going and going. But they did have an exception once this terrible event happened in Minneapolis that caused protests and riots. It spread to other cities, and now the leftists want to support that and say, hey, you can have demonstrations in your city too. Everyone's encouraged to. Even the health experts and the nurses and the people working in the hospitals are saying, hey, you guys can celebrate. You can go and have your protest and do this thing. Even though we said you couldn't because of this virus, they tried to pretend there was a health threat that was way bigger than it really was. The health scare really happened. We all know that was a thing. The virus is still real. We're not denying that. This isn't a tinfoil hat thing. But the point is the hypocrisy and the fact that they won't allow certain gatherings. And one in particular that's coming up is really starting to irritate me. I'm seeing more and more things about the 4th of July and how it's canceled. I know some places are popping up with a little bit of a celebration. Some fireworks are still going on, but in large, in the general public, most cities and towns and states are canceling 4th of July. 4th of July has been canceled for a long time now, but I say it's time we uncancel it. I say it's time we bring it back. It's not just the fact that there's a double standard. There's a fact that it's a great holiday. This is America's birthday. It's the summer. I think it's time. It's been long enough. We can celebrate. We can have a fun day. And if you want to risk it, I mean, it just depends. I'm not trying to get everyone sick, of course. I want it to be safe. You know, maybe some parties with a few friends. Maybe you go to the beach or something. But I think that all should be allowed. I think they should open this up, like especially since all these other gatherings are okay. I mean, we've seen way bigger things happen in all these cities. We saw Philadelphia have this thousands and thousands of people with signs walking down the street. We've seen demonstrations in Washington, D.C., Minneapolis itself. Los Angeles has had it night after night. And all this stuff is way bigger and way more destructive and dangerous than a few 4th of July parties. I don't get it. I don't get the reasoning here unless you read between the lines. I think there's an obvious reason for all of this. First of all, we know that the liberals have made this political. So the lockdown and the whole fear-mongering thing, it went out the window when these other protests came up that were pro-liberal causes. They love Black Lives Matter. They hate cops. They hate white people. So these new protests were cool for them. But then you got to think about 4th of July some more. And specifically, like I said, this is America's birthday. It's like the biggest holiday for our country. And we know liberals hate America. That's definitely part of this. They've actually tried to cancel some of our holidays before. We've done other videos where they've been anti-4th of July before, anti-Christmas, anti-Thanksgiving. They hate American holidays. They hate our tradition and our country. So that's a big part of the reason 4th of July is still canceled. I don't think it should be. I think we should reverse that decision. Let's open up. Let's get 4th of July going on. Keep it safe. You know, keep it civil. We don't need to get shoulder to shoulder like these protesters even. Like, let's let people go to a park and social distance and watch a few fireworks, or go to the beach and everyone's spread out. No coughing, you know, masks if you need them. Stay safe, but we can celebrate 4th of July, especially if everyone's okay with all these protests and these big events and these demonstrations and rioting even. I mean, people are bailing these criminals out of jail. It's okay to go steal from a Target that had nothing to do with anything, but we can't set off some fireworks and like have 1 or 2 hour party on the 4th of July, our country's birthday. This is a time we need to be patriotic, people. So that's why I'm getting way behind this. I love 4th of July. I love the summer. I'm hoping things could get better too. If we could get a good 4th of July, maybe we could still salvage part of this summer and have a few things happen later on too. Who knows? But that's the point of today. And to give you guys some more information, I have a search here to just kind of go over the general consensus. I went and searched for 4th of July canceled. And as you can see, it's kind of hit or miss. Like some of them are canceled. This one says fireworks a go, all other activities canceled. So they're putting up fireworks in the city. That's at least something. I've seen less and less, and actually my area still has it all canceled. So here's what you need to know about 4th of July event cancellations in Brevard, live updates, Galloway Township, 4th of July parade canceled. Now, This one is very interesting. It's from Atlantic City saying the parade has been canceled because of the pandemic. This just came out 5 hours ago, and I just wonder how they can say this with a straight face. I mean, they're saying the pandemic means we can't have a parade, we can't have a celebration or have fun. But this is the same area, like we've seen protests, we've seen New York City is not far from there. We've seen all these places have these demonstrations. They're encouraging them. They're telling people to go out. Black Lives Matter. They're telling people to hit the streets. And it doesn't make sense if you're just thinking, oh, why does 4th of July have to be canceled? I mean, that's like a month from now and it's still canceled. Like, why can't we change this and update it? And it just makes you think, what do they got against 4th of July? At least 7 North Texas cities canceled 4th of July events due to the pandemic budget shortfall. This was from 3 days ago. Still in the middle of all this stuff. I think still it's just excuse making. I understand being safe and a celebration isn't necessarily as necessary, but I honestly don't think those protests are either. I mean, that's just me. I don't see all this racism they're crying about. Like, I don't see the racism that even happened in the first event. The event that sparked this didn't have any proven racism. I still haven't seen it. I don't understand like how we're all supposed to just go along with that. But regardless, these celebrations provide a lot of equity and a lot of morale boosting to places too, especially in this time of need. I think a celebration is warranted. Like, I don't know, I understand keeping things safe with the virus, but if you're also allowing protests, like you should be able to allow a parade. People don't have to go. Make the event smaller or social distance, but to cancel it altogether just seems like a biased move to me. Santa Barbara canceled 4th of July fireworks. This is from a few weeks ago. So this is older news. Let's see what the more current thing says. Past 24 hours. Brighton, July 4th, Greene County Fair canceled. Pittsburgh gives update on facility restrictions, event cancellations, including July 4th fireworks. Yeah, I mean, July 4th fireworks, it just seems like such a staple to me. Like, can't we just plan them and people spread out? You can watch them from afar. Like, I used to have one at a friend's house you could watch at their house, and it would shoot off at a park nearby or something. I mean, there's a way to do this. I don't know why they're not trying, especially, like we said, we're talking about a contradiction. We're talking about something that's not fair, and that's the BS of today's show, is the fact that these protests get all this lip service and all this support, and we can't even get behind helping the country get better, and we need some celebration. Like I was saying, morale boost. We've been in a dark time here. Not only have we just got out of a health scare that's still going on, we're also talking about all this strife that's undeniable. I mean, I don't agree with the premise and the things behind these demonstrations, but it's out there, and there's a lot of people that are angry. Like, that you could tell they have a lot of hate in their hearts. Those people going out there trying to stop the police, trying to take away their jobs, trying to put them in jail, trying to end white people, talk about us being all racist, talking about hate about this country. I mean, there's a lot of anger out there, and I think a celebration could help with that. I'm not sure the 4th of July one will help a lot of those leftists because, again, we know they hate America, but I think it's worth a shot. So for the last thing, let's check out some protests and see how they're getting covered. Live updates on the Floyd protests. Democrats take a knee. This is 11 minutes ago. Democrats unveil sweeping police reform. Live updates, Floyd protest in Washington, New York, and Los Angeles nationwide today. So that seems pretty big. Let's see if we could get more details on that. This is organized stuff too. I mean, this is just like organizing a 4th of July event. I mean, it's a lot of people coordinated, usually through social media these days. So yeah, we got people, Black Lives Matter can gather. There's a lot of people around. I mean, a few of them have masks, sure. But, Adrian Peterson was there. He says NFL players are ready to take a knee together during national anthem. The basketball, football players are behind this. I'm not sure what people consider the optics here, though. Like, that guy that died, George Floyd, he did have a knee on his back. So to take a knee for him, it's kind of interesting choice. I mean, I would say that's a little disrespectful, to be honest. I'm not sure they considered that properly. But yeah, there's New York demonstrations. People have memorials in Houston. There are social distancing. But yeah, it's just the difference between 4th of July and protest is dramatic. And I think it's worth pointing out because I want to have 4th of July. I think, it's not a big deal for me. Usually I just actually do something with the family. I'm not like a big party guy or trying to like go boating or something. Like that would be cool though. Now that I say it, I kind of want to go boating. I want to do something. I want to celebrate this country. I want people to remember how lucky we are and how great the United States of America is. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Also hit that like button, help us get shared. And if you love this country, we'll see you next time on the next video. Let me just take a quick moment to talk to you about my second channel. I recently relaunched and revamped No Bullshit 2, and it's now called NoBS News. I'm going to be doing new videos on there almost every day on weekdays, and then weekends we're going to be doing more live streams. So make sure you guys check out that second channel. There's already like say 10 or 12 more videos on there for you to check out right now. So if you want more content, search NoBS News on YouTube or click the link below this video.